Greetings, wise ones. It's Melissa from 8th House Wisdom, author, astrologer, and transformational coach, here to leave a video about probably one of my favorite holidays, pagan holidays, high holy days, and times of the year. It is All Hallows Eve, or Dia de los Muertos for all of my brujas, um, or Samhain in the Celtic name. It's the day and the time of year when the veil becomes thin and our loved ones and ancestors and ascended masters and soul core group can really reach out to us from across the veil. Now, if you're a scary person, this video is probably not for you. I have no intentions on talking about demons or bad spirits, but if the idea that life and energy and connection can occur from one realm to another scares you or puts you off, you should go ahead and hop off of here right now. But if not, I just wanted to get on here and leave a video to talk about how important it is in this year of 2020 in particular for us to start really paying attention to the messages that our ancestors and spirit guides and that the other realm have been trying to get across from us to us, excuse me. And I gather from how significantly crippled global economies are via this virus, and what a enormous event this is, not just for Americans or people in China or in Europe, but globally. That really indicates, as many people have been saying and as I've been saying for all year, that this year is about a tremendous shift energetically, um, which means that there are really big messages that are coming in and through for us. Each one of us has a unique message that we need to connect with, and we need to have been using this time to prepare ourselves energetically, mentally, physically, and psychically for breakthroughs and for the capacity to not only be able to extrapolate and or hear this information, but also to know what to do with it when it comes. Some of us, per the last video that I just left on my page about the law of obedience, um, have been obedient to natural order and to the things that exist outside of our control that push us into a space of kind of pausing, relenting, obeying, and thereby working with natural energies to have, a dawning of information come through or a download of information come through. And then there are others of us who have had extreme difficulty with, or just not been able to because of work, because of all other kinds of things. You may not be working from home. You may have to go in every day. Your routine may or may not have changed, especially when we're thinking about people who are essential workers, or at least significantly shifted, where you have an increase of downtime in the way that many of us do now. But no matter where you stand in that range that I'm speaking about, when it comes to October 31st, and especially the tween places on this day, and when I say tween places, I mean noon and midnight, because those exists in between the day and the night. There are a number of opportunities for us to get quiet, get prepared, and then get in relationship with our loved ones. And especially melanated people, and especially descendants of enslaved Africans. There's been so much going on in this world for Black people right now. And there is so much, there's so much information, knowledge, wisdom, and I guess philosophy that we as a people are cut off from because we don't have that same connection to our roots. Not our roots, our Pan African roots on the continent of Africa, and not even very clearly intact our enslaved ancestral roots of who those people are, who their identity was, who was taken from them in the atrocities that existed during this period of time. So I often feel like more than anybody, this is an appropriate time for us to go deep within and to ask our ancestors for help, support, guidance, and blessings. Ask them, what is it that they weren't able to accomplish in their lifetime that you can help them fulfill? Many of us, even not as millionaires or billionaires, but in the positions that we are in, are our ancestors' greatest hope and dream that we would be free, that we would have sovereignty, that our children would not be taken from us, that we would have religious freedom to worship the ways that we want to. And so we have that, and we have a series of really big programs that kind of direct what we feel like we should be doing at a given period of time. And times like this are great to, number one, question that authority and question that programming to see whether or not it actually lines up with the outcomes that you want to have, especially as a Black person and a descendant of enslaved people. And then additionally, I think it's a time for us to then ask, okay, now that I'm in this position and could potentially move things ahead, how can I do that for my bloodline? How can I heal my bloodline backwards and forwards? Because if you can accomplish things for our ancestors across the veil that they could not, that act sets us up not only to have healed potential mortal wounds and just energetic blocks that have been existing across generations, but it puts us at a new plateau and allows what the future generations have to accomplish and to put forth. It just puts them in a different place. So healing back and forward through the bloodline is something that we can really do on this day. And there are many forms of resistance that may come up for this. For some people, their religiosity doesn't allow them to drop into this space. Because still there are messages that can be drawn down, whether you are an indigenous person or of European descent and of Asian descent. We all have ancestors. We all have a collective of knowledge and history and a repository that exists both on this realm, in this realm, and in another. And on this day, I think it's really important for us to figure out how to tap into that. You can call it witchcraft if you want to. I personally do not have a problem with the word bruja or witch. I don't have a problem with ancestor worship or communication. I plan to spend a significant amount of time tomorrow at my altar for my ancestors, with my immediate ancestors, and in speaking directly to my line of enslaved ancestors to figure out what are the next steps for me. And I feel like in this pause, in 2020, where many of us have done work that has allowed us to clear up our energy and clear out our brains and open our ears, not only our physical hearing, but our inner hearing, you don't want to miss this opportunity. And at a time like this, doesn't it seem like one of the most delicious cosmic invitations to tap into this? I mean, for all intents and purposes, this year has been supernatural. Why not just roll with it? So I'm just wanting to get on here to encourage people to follow their innate curiosities and to take advantage of the natural rhythm and natural habits and natural events that lend their energy to certain types of things happening. It's why I'm an astrologer. It's why I watch the sky, follow the stars, and follow the patterns that they carefully lay out for us so that I can map my activities and my energy and my efforts around times, dates, places, people, and things that are supportive of it so that I follow urges or make sure I couple certain ideas with times that would allow them to reach their highest level of success. If you have lost a parent as of recent, if there's anyone that you love that has crossed over that you would like to communicate with, today is the day that you can do that. So I encourage you to push past your fears, that being false evidence appearing real, and step into the space that I feel like always exists where I know that loved ones crossing over mean I may not be able to interact with them on the physical plane, but they're always energetically here for us. And when we create the space and provide them with the invitation to show up in our lives, it can be a beautiful experience, um, and one that can be revelatory in terms of what we are able to draw down. So I encourage you to make use of this, especially since I realize socially distanced trick or treating and all those other things may be a little off this year. And if you are interested in learning more about how your energies astrologically or celestially and those patterns work, go to the link in my bio and click it where you can check out my new book, Astrologically Happily Ever After, which talks about the stars and relationships, specifically from a woman's perspective, because I really wanted to be able to provide people with resources around that, women in particular. Or check out one of the easily accessible astrology reports that I offer on my site. Your birth chart, which is really your life instruction manual, your solar return chart, which helps you to be able to understand what a yearly forecast specific to you is going to look like, or to check it at any period of time to get a 3, 6, or 12-month forecast, because those things are just really helpful to be able to identify the things that we don't necessarily have control over but know are going to happen. I mean, people want to reduce the level of uncertainty that they're dealing with right now as it relates to coronavirus. And for me, astrology is definitely one of the ways that you can do that. And another way is checking in with your ancestors, spirits, and guides to get as much information as possible so that you can live your best life and experience your highest good. But I'm signing off now, wishing you guys lots of light and love. Have a wonderful All Hallows Eve, Samhain, Dia de los Muertos. Lots of love and shout out to all of my brujas um, who are dancing, chanting, and enjoying solitary or coven related celebrations on this day. I hope you take an opportunity to drop into it too. Until next